Good evening. Welcome to Vatv show. Today is May 1st, 2013, and my name is Mary Truong. Thank you for watching our show tonight. Vatv is the voice of Vietnamese American from the greater Boston area, and it is sponsored by VitAid, Vietnamese American Initiative for Development. You can follow our program live every Wednesday night from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Via the BNN TV network. If you have Comcast, it'll be on Channel 9 and RCN Channel 15, and also online at www.bnntv.org. This evening's program will be repeated on several schedules as follows: Sunday at 5 p.m., Monday at 1 p.m., and Tuesday at 11 a.m. For today's program, we have the pleasure and honor to invite a friend, Mr. Tony Dang. He's a resident of Dorchester and also a transit police officer. So, welcome, Tony.
Thank you, Mary. Good evening.
Good evening. So, can you share with our audience what motivated you to become a police officer?
Well, when I was young,
I
grew up in the Seven Hill area.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, the mid-90s, crime was fairly high.
Yes.
A lot of gangs, a lot of influence with the gang influencing youth my age during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And being new to Dorchester during that time, I didn't really have much friends. So I ended up being bullied around quite often. And being a police officer is a dream for many young people. And I was one of those, seeing myself being bullied. I dream one day maybe I can be a part of law enforcement, a police officer, to assist kids who may face a similar situation I have in the past.
But how old were you when that happened, that you were being bullied?
Middle school.
Oh.
I grew up going through the public school system in Boston. And like I said, during that time, there was a lot of activities and a lot of crimes, a lot of gangs. It's been quiet down. It's compared to today, there's much difference.
So what was the process to become a police officer, especially working for the transit?
With the Transit Police Department, my department, and Boston Police and many other police departments, you have to go through a civil service test exam. You have to take the exam to qualify and go through the civil service process. But there are also other police departments that doesn't follow the civil service exam. And they have their own criteria on how to be a police officer within their department. For example, Wellesley and some other police department on West. Some campus police doesn't have to go through the civil service exam. So you're gonna have to just do your research and see what the requirement is, what the standards is. But for the most part, in and around Boston, those police departments go through this civil service exam given by the state.
Was it difficult, to your opinion? I mean, how lengthy was the civil service exam? Several pages, hundreds of questions type?
It's somewhat like the SAT. So if there are, when I took the exam, I did fairly well. But today the exam may be a little different.
I see.
So I cannot give you an accurate answer. It's been so long ago.
Yeah.
But the process itself, most people can pass.
Oh, but really? Okay.
But I think what holds them back is a lot of people that approach me asking me about the process. And when I tell them that, hey, start from the beginning where you have to enroll and take the exam. Somehow, for one reason or another, they don't apply for the exam.
I see.
So you can't go to the second step if you don't take the exam.
Well, because, I mean, people are intimidated by the whole process. And taking the exam, people might be thinking that it's very difficult to be able to pass. So it could be, an intimidating thing to...
Yes. However, it is a very rewarding job. And if you really want the job, those who are willing to go above and beyond to
Yeah.
get the job
Yes.
will get the job.
Oh, I see. I see.
believe so. You have to believe in it. You have to believe in it and do whatever is necessary to get the job. And that will help the law enforcement community get the most qualified, best candidates, those
Right.
who really want the job.
Right, right. So how has it been for you as a police officer? Has it been challenging, or did you see any rewards in doing your job?
I fortunately, right now I get to patrol the neighborhood that I grew up in.
Okay, that's
so
nice.
I
Yeah.
am very happy when I get to help out a business owner or someone who knows a family member or a
Right.
business owner
Yeah.
that once you help them out, you feel that you're part of the community and you feel better about it. So yes, it's been very rewarding. There are some challenges, and sometimes we get very busy, but it's all part of the job. We knew what we were getting into. I knew what I was getting into becoming a police officer. When the time comes, you're just gonna have to. In the military, we call it suck it up and move on. So we have
Right.
to suck up the hardship and do what we can and
Right.
do what we're there for.
I
And
see.
then we move on.
So with the recent Boston Marathon bombing, were you, I mean, did you have any supporting role in helping, making the arrests at all?
Well, I cannot comment so much on the incident itself because it is still an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, everyone on my department will call to come in to work when that happened. And we just needed to be there to,
Right,
to,
right.
to support the state and then with the entire incident. My position during the day we made the arrest of the suspect number 2, I was pulling security around the perimeter so that the SWAT team can do their thing. And that was just my function.
I see.
Other officers have their different function. The SWAT obviously have their function. The bomb dogs and the detective all have their function and are tasked appropriately through their division and agencies. My function, my assistant, was to pull the security around the perimeter so
I
that
see.
others can do their job.
Right, right. I also learned that you had a colleague, Officer Kenny Tran. He was also involved in this, right?
Yes, he is a part of a member on the Transit Police SWAT team.
Okay.
He agreed to be here today, but
Okay.
unfortunately, he has a task tonight with the SWAT team, so he cannot be here. And that's part of being on a specialty assignment. When you're called upon by your department, you just have to go, regardless of where and when. So that's why he can't be here today.
I see.
But
Yeah,
we
yeah.
grew up together in Dorchester, so
I
we're very
see.
lucky to be able to work on the same department.
Right,
And hopefully in the future he can reschedule and come here and speak
Yes,
to you.
yes, that would be nice. Our audience would love to listen to him and share his opinion. So, I mean, his experience. So now, how has the marathon bombing, affect your job? I mean, has this been difficult?
I don't. It doesn't affect my job.
It making any impact?
It does
Yeah.
impact in
Yeah.
in the sense that we have to be more alert now.
I see.
And that's everybody, even not just the police department, but even the people who lives in Boston as well. And in the city, when an incident like this happen, everybody as a society have to be more alert. Of course, dealing with the public transportation system, we have to be more visible. So that means more officers have to come in and patrol longer hours, just like any other emergency. When there's an emergency,
I see.
we have to show the public that we're stepping up our A game. We're out in force and doing what we're there for.
Right.
Keep the public safe.
Safe, yeah. So now, once you are a police officer, you can cover whether it's around the MBTA stations, or you can be in a police patrolling certain neighborhood, or could you explain the difference between? Yeah, exactly.
For the Transit Police Department, our jurisdiction, we have jurisdiction in the entire town that the MBTA has service through, with the exception of a few. For example, Avon, and that's that's because more of on the political reasons. And details, we can go to details in a different day.
Okay.
But just how a legislator write up the law and how the MBTA can have jurisdiction. We pretty much have jurisdiction in the entire town that the MBTA service through. So they're not, MBTA Transit Police is not restricted to just the buses, the subway.
Oh, see, that's,
right,
I don't think many people know that.
We're public safety, so if there's something that's putting the public at risk, we're bound by duty to take action.
I see. So now, what area of Boston, especially around the MBTA stations, have you seen, an increase in crime? And then what has been done about it?
Well, I grew up in Dorchester, and I still live there now. And according to recent news, what's public right now, Dorchester has quite a few robberies, not just on the MBTA,
I see.
but even on the streets of Boston as well.
I see.
There's been a constant number of robberies, mostly for the cell phone iPhones.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And last week alone, according to what was put out in public, there were quite a few shootings. So I live there, so I am always trying to be on top of that because my family is there, and I have a special interest in what's going on there. I have a stake in my own community.
I see.
But in other areas, I'm not so much familiar with. I tend to focus on what I can do in my community while I have the privilege to patrol that specific area.
But you have to be in a police uniform when you do your job, or can you be undercover and just wear civilian clothes?
The police department have also detective unit and undercover units.
Okay.
So sometimes we do go out there and undercover work.
I see.
But most of the patrols are in uniform in marked cruisers.
I see. Wait, so how many Vietnamese police officers are there that you know of?
In my department, we have about 8 or 9. But we cover the whole system.
I see.
So not just Dorchester. We have Vietnamese officer over in the west side, covers Brighton and Roxbury, West Roxbury. And we have Vietnamese officer cover the north side. So we're spread out wherever there are needs for a Vietnamese speaking officer. We're available.
I see. Is there any female?
There are female.
Really?
There's one who works on the south side with me.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, that's nice to know because, you see people stereotype thinking that if you're a police officer, you must be a male. And hardly
I'm very fortunate to work for a police department that has a lot of diversity.
Oh, okay, that's
grateful.
great. Yeah.
My department has treated everyone very fairly and make sure that everyone has all communities have a representation in our force. So that's a great thing.
Right. Because you have to represent the makeup of the community, the population that you serve. Yeah. So now, do you think there will be a Vietnamese American chief police officer someday?
Absolutely. Eventually, it may be 20 years down the line.
Okay.
And guarantee you it won't be me. But
how come?
I'm pretty sure that we will get there. We will get there.
I see. So now, what advice could you give to some people who are interested in becoming a police officer? Well, obviously you did say taking the civil service exam, but what else?
My advice, particularly to the young, if you want to go into law enforcement, first of all, you have to stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble.
Okay.
Don't get influenced into the gang life. Don't get influenced into the drug life. Be clean, and then after that, it's you have to show how much you want it. If you want to show how much you want it, keep on. You have to pass school. So if that's an encouragement for you to pass school because you want to be qualified to be a police officer, you have to have at least a high school diploma.
Oh,
so
I see.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
Finish school.
I see.
Okay. from there, and then we can talk about tests and physical qualification, etc. But
I
if you
see.
can't, if you can't stay out of trouble, you can't pass high school. It's a very low chance, or if not, there are no chance.
Do they do any background check, even though you have high school degree and then you pass the civil service exam, but they still have to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I stressed for them to stay out of the gang life and stay out of the drug life. There are exceptions, but it only takes you so far. And some departments wait depending on the situation.
Yeah.
They wait whatever problem the background may come up. But to be safe, you just have to stay out of trouble.
I see, I see.
To be safe, to be more qualified.
So
best qualified.
Yeah. So in your role, do you sometimes help do community outreach to educate or inform young folks of the criteria, in becoming a police officer?
Yeah. Absolutely. When the opportunity comes, when I can do that while I'm working, I absolutely always try to volunteer. But at the same time, when the opportunity comes for me to do that, but requires me to be off duty to do that, I also consider that as a privilege.
I see.
And networking through Vatv and some other Vietnamese community, sometimes I can only get involved if I'm not representing the department. And that's similar to many other jobs as well. Sometimes you do things more personal because that's who you are, and that's what you want to do. You cannot mix your personal life with your career life. And either way, when the opportunity comes, I love to go out there and help and do more for the community.
Are you encouraged by the police department to do this, to lend a hand by serving on boards or whatever? What?
The mission of from my understanding, the mission of the MBTA Police Department is pretty much police through communities policing.
Yes, okay.
They're very strong, and we're very strong in community policing. And that's basically how our, I believe our police I guess, strategy evolves around the community.
Right. So are there, for interested residents who want to know what's going on in terms of public safety, especially in their area, are there any public safety meetings that take place often, so people can come, and could you tell us?
From my experience, the community centers can host their own public safety meeting, and it's just a matter of requesting the departments that they want to see participating in that specific meeting.
I see.
So for the most part, when my boss specifically is requested, he will do his best to be there.
I see.
And unless there's a scheduling conflict, I don't see my boss denying to be present when a community calls for it.
I see. So you can be proactive in organizing your own public safety meeting, and then you invite these officers to come and address the issue. So it's not like you, as a resident, you wait until the police department, at certain neighborhood has a public safety meeting, then you come to it, right?
Right, and there are times when police department may feel there's a need for them to hold a meeting themselves to put out some critical information for the citizens. And but from my experience, when I'm off duty, being a resident in Dorchester, I get invitations to go to public safety meetings led by community groups.
I see. So are you serving on any boards right now, or?
No, I'm not.
Because your schedule is pretty overwhelming at times too, right?
Right.
Long hours.
Right, and I tend to keep myself busy with other volunteer services outside of law enforcement.
I see.
So my look at life is you got to go out there to do good things, and don't get settled. You get settled, you get bored.
Right.
So go out there and do good things is what I suggest to other youth and people out there who kind of. Seems like they're living aimlessly. Just go do good things. You know what they are. Just go do good things and then don't get settled. So.
I also learned that you used to serve in Afghanistan, yes?
Yes, I served in 2010
Yeah.
to 2011, just one tour in Afghanistan in the U.S. Army Reserve.
I see. Did you decide or, to choose Afghanistan to go to, or were you recruited without any choice?
Well, when the Army tasks a specific reserve unit to go to a mission, and if you're part of the reserve unit, if you're needed, you sign up to volunteer when they call for you.
I see.
It's depending on the situation. For the most part, you don't really have a choice.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So were there other Vietnamese that served, at the same time you did in Afghanistan?
Yes. When I served over there, I met 4 other Vietnamese, and one, matter of fact, one in particular was the colonel of the brigade.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was the colonel of the brigade,
Yeah.
Colonel Luong.
Oh, interesting.
Viet Luong.
Yeah, Viet
And
Luong.
he was the first Vietnamese active duty colonel that I've ever met.
Ah.
And we were fortunate to be together because the whole province that we worked in, there was only 4 of us. And,
Wow, that's
yeah.
impressive. I mean,
I-
I have no idea. I thought
Yeah.
maybe you were just one of the, a very few minority, but I guess it doesn't matter, which country,
Yeah.
nationality, or race you come from. Basically, you have to serve and protect, Americans. So so I admire your work.
Thank you, Mary.
And I appreciate that very much.
And I
that you
admired
protect.
yours, doing a lot for Dorchester House. And I know for a fact, outside of Dorchester House, you do a lot as well. So I do admire you as well.
Thank you. So I guess, I mean,
we understand each other.
we
try.
We're good when it comes
Go and
to
do good things.
serving.
Don't get settled, right?
Thank you. All right. So unfortunately, the time is running out. So I just want to say once again, thank you to our audience for watching the show tonight. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation with our friend Tony Dang. And that hopefully in the future, he and his colleague Kenny Tran can come back and share more with us. You can call Vatv at 617-822-3717 if you have any question regarding to the show tonight or the show in general. You can also contact them via email at vatv@vatv.org, or you can call at 617-822-3717. Once again, thank you and have a good evening. We look forward to seeing you again at next week's Wednesday night show. Thank you.